Your body is warm and soft like Masaru's. I know my body is cold and hard. But I'm able to have feelings and I care for both of you.
This is crazy. These thoughts don't make any sense. Jiro's not human, he's just a robot.
Oh? Yeah? Wasn't it you who was just talking about all his emotions? Like hatred, sadness, and hurt? I don't know, seems to me that you more than anyone else think of Jiro as a human.
Jiro as a human. Mr. Hattori. And you're sure it's all true? I don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. I don't have any concrete evidence, but this information comes from a solid source.
Oh my god.
You see, Mitsuko, your father was... I mean, Dr. Komyoji. Well, he was...
Mitsuko, are you alright? Hey, wake up! What happened to Mitsuko? Where is she? Mitsuko! Where are you? Mitsuko! If we don't have something to believe in, life isn't worth living. We all have someone like that. I'm sure you do too.
When, Mitsuko?
Do you want to see Mitsuko again, Kikaider?
Alright, who is this?
I'm the person who has Mitsuko.
What?
She'll be here waiting for you, Kikaider. Don't take too long. It seems he wants to see you again. He's coming here to get you.
What are you planning on doing when he gets here? Who are you anyway?
I wish you wouldn't look at me as if I was some kind of monster. Despite my appearance, I do have what the world commonly refers to as a conscience. After all, I only rendered that detective unconscious. And as for your brother, I left him completely unharmed. So you see, at heart, I'm really quite a gentleman.
Answer my question.
First, let me say that I have no malice towards Kikaider or yourself. However, I'm afraid I do have orders to kill Kikaider. I'm sorry, destroy him. You see, you can't kill something that has never truly lived. You must destroy it.
But why would you do that?
You weren't listening well enough. I have orders.
That means that you're a...
How very perceptive. I'm an android, my dear, and we don't have the right to disobey orders. Perhaps you don't like robots? But just because I have my orders to carry out doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves while doing so. Please, feel free to make yourself at home until Kikaider arrives. However, I strongly suggest that you not try to leave the mansion. You see, I've set a few traps. If you were to get caught in one, I couldn't guarantee your survival.
You haven't even told me who you are. Can't you at least tell me whose orders you're following?
Of course, my dear. Simply think of me as a servant of Professor Gill.
Who is Professor Gill? Who is he?
You see, your father... Well, Dr. Komyoji needed money for all the research he was doing. Apparently, he was able to get that from a foreigner named Gil Helbert, more commonly known as Professor Gil.
You said Professor Gil, right?
Right. It appears that this Gil is the mastermind behind an organization called Dark.
What is Dark?
In the last 2 days, I've asked every scumbag in the city that same question. It's my business to stay in touch with the underground. Everyone's too terrified to talk. The minute I mention Dark, they either clam up, or they'll say something like, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay away from Professor Gil.
But how did my father ever get mixed up with a group like that?
Yes, that's right. I understand. Please, give the message to Professor Gil.
My mother. My God. I know this place. It must be.
I would assume you're already aware that your and Masaru's mother was Dr. Komyoji's second wife. Am I right?
Yes?
Did Dr. Komyoji ever explain to the two of you what happened to his first wife?
He didn't talk much about her. It always seemed to bother him, so I never pressed it. He said his first wife had died of some illness. He also said that they had a child together, a boy. His name was Ichiro. I guess that would make him my half-brother. Ichiro died in an accident. Father never told us any more beyond that. I don't see how that helps you.
Alright, so his first wife died, his first son Ichiro was killed in an accident, and then he gets remarried a while after that. The thing is, I've done a little research, and what I found out is that apparently your mother, Chigusa Sakamoto, was introduced to your father by a man named Professor Gil. In other words, not only did this Professor Gil provide financial support, he also introduced your father to your mother. They were married, and then you and Masaru were born.
It all seems so long ago, but I'm certain that this is...
Hey, Mommy.
Yes, dear?
Who's Professor Gil? Is he your friend? Or is he one of Daddy's friends?
Well, let's see. I guess you'd have to say he's a friend of both your mommy and your daddy. So, Mitsuko, have you decided on a name for the baby?
Masaru.
What if I have a girl?
But I want a little brother. I don't want a sister.
Oh, is that so? Well, you'd better think of a girl's name, too, just in case.
This place. We once lived here. It all seems so long ago now. But this was once my house. I can feel it. I don't understand. That man must have somehow known, but why did he bring me here?
In other words, not only did this Professor Gil provide financial support, he also introduced your father to your mother. They were married, and then you and Masaru were born. Your father and Professor Gil seem to have had a very close relationship.
Daddy? Where did Mommy go? Masaru's hungry. Where'd she go?
Your mother isn't coming back.
I don't believe you. Mommy would never leave. Without her, who would feed Masaru? Who's gonna take care of him?
Mitsuko. From this day forward, you shall be Masaru's mother.
You should be more careful. I told you it's dangerous to go outside.
Answer me! Just what are you trying to do?
Why? Something wrong?
Don't play stupid with me, and don't treat me like a child. I know where I am. This is the house where my father and my mother once lived. Now why have you brought me here?
The answer is simple. I brought you here because Professor Gill ordered me to.
What do you mean, ordered you?
As an android, I must do whatever Professor Gill tells me to do, so when he asked me to bring you here, I had no other choice than to carry out his orders. Does that answer your question?
Follow this order, then. I order you to tell me what relationship Professor Gill had with my father.
You're much stronger-willed than you appear. I find that a very attractive quality in a woman. Professor Gill has shared some information with me. But as to why your father, Komyoji, built Kikaider, I personally don't know. Nor did the professor find it necessary to divulge information about his relationship with Dr. Komyoji and your family. There is only one truth here. One thing of importance. Dr. Komyoji did something that was utterly unforgivable. He installed a conscience circuit into Kikaider, which in turn gave him the ability to reject orders.
Reject orders?
So you see, Komyoji granted the right of refusal to an android, an instrument originally designed to follow orders completely. In other words, he gave him the ability to follow whatever orders he wanted. And in doing so, he upset Professor Gill in ways that you cannot imagine. Mere robots, he said. The idea that machines designed to serve humans would ever dare to question the orders of their masters. It's preposterous. I won't stand for it, he said. That conscience circuit must be destroyed. I want Kikaider obliterated. However, it's easier said than done.
I won't let you do this.
Why not?
Because I...
Forgive me. Sometimes I feel the need to take this position in order to examine a problem from a different point of view. Please try to understand. This is all a tragedy. Yes, to put it into literary terms, tragedy is the only way to describe this.
A tragedy?
Kikaider is the unwitting victim of a terrible mistake. His conscience, or the system you call Gemini. It is because of this conscience circuit that he lives in torment. Not only that, it makes other machines, which should be his brothers, into his enemies. But it doesn't stop there. He has become a thing to be feared by humans as well. Not a human, and yet not quite a machine either. Merely an unfinished, incomplete monster.
No, you're wrong. He's not a monster at all.
Of course he is. Be honest. When human beings are unable to understand something, they fear it, and that fear grows into hate. And of course, they want to destroy what they hate. He's aware of this fact and knows he has nowhere to go. Huh? I see you feel sympathy for him. Well, don't waste your emotions. Your sympathy is of no use at all to a machine. You might as well pity a lawnmower.
Stop it, you're wrong!
Am I? Come, be honest. You really haven't been thinking clearly, have you? How would you react if Kikaider suddenly told you he loved you? Yes, I wonder what you'd do then. Just how would you respond to his amorous advances? With sympathy, perhaps?
Oh, my poor little Jiro. Come and let me comfort you. After all, that's what friends are for, isn't it? But you and I can never be closer than that.
And he'll say, but that's not enough for me. It will never be enough. And you even know why you can't accept his love. Because while it may work with humans, it would be impossible for sympathy to form into love between a human and a machine. Can you deny what I say?
true.
Are you saying that you could love him?
Well,
You expect me to believe that you, a human, could love a machine?
I don't know.
Sorry I upset you. I'm not acting like much of a gentleman, am I? But as I see it, those tears you shed are merely another form of human conceit.
What do you mean by that?
Humans are full of conceits. The very notion of attempting to create a conscience circuit is nothing more than another product of human conceit.
But that's not...
There can be no obvious choice in a person's conscience, because every human being has a different point of view. If you ask 100 of them the difference between right and wrong, they will provide you with 100 different answers. Only human conceit would make someone think they could build it, the same way you think it's possible to love a machine. I know it's true from my own personal experiences. I know all this because I'm a victim of one of Dr. Komyoji's experiments that didn't quite turn out. I am a bat-style android, a monster created by a cruel scientist named Dr. Komyoji for no other reason than to satisfy his scientific curiosity.
No, you're lying.
Not like a human, and yet not quite like a machine either. Like a real bat, a misfit who's neither bird nor rodent. I flutter awkwardly between two worlds, hated by both. At least your father, Dr. Komyoji, had a sense of humor.
No, I don't believe it. He wouldn't do that.
Oh, but he did do it. I am proof of Dr. Komyoji's cruelty. You see, I also have one inside me. Kikaider wasn't the first. Dr. Komyoji implanted a conscience circuit into me as well. Although it's not as perfected as the one inside Kikaider, my feelings of wretchedness don't last very long. No one else could possibly understand the anguish of being neither human nor machine.
Why, Father? Why were you involved with a man like Professor Gill? And Mother? Why did Mother leave us? And your ideal conscience circuit? Why did you want to create this for androids? And why is it causing them so much pain? Father, what is it? I just don't understand. What were you doing?